Hello Wonderland, Kelly here. As you can tell, we are on the water today. Thought I would get out early. It's a reasonably warm early spring morning. So I've come again to Pocahontas State Park, which is my nearest and Virginia's largest state park. And I'm on the Swift Creek Lake, which is where I always come paddling here. So it's flat water, it's comfortable. A little bit of a breeze and mist this morning, which is kind of nice. I imagine that'll burn off. Hopefully the breeze will go away. I'm paddling against it right now. Yes, okay, so I've brought today the R7, and I was feeling a little braver because this is, like I said, is flat water and I'm not worried about tipping over or anything. So I've got the 100 to 500. Usually I bring the 100 to 400. And I'm hoping to find whatever I can, of course, but hoping for some spring birds and wildlife to be out here along the water. I'm one of the first to hit the lake this morning, so maybe we'll get lucky. Let's see. Better assemble my kit. I have not, and I just missed a shot of a great blue heron flying by. Not hearing a whole lot yet. Heron might be a decent shot though, if I can get some reflections with it. Restrap just in case. But let me first reorient a bit and get a little closer to my subject. And more to his side. This is the time of year that I love to be out because the weather is finally nice after a long winter. But the pollen gets me. That's not bad. Okay, so I'm in FV mode. Wide open at f7.1. Going with 1/500th of a second. Because he's not moving that much. And neither am I. That's not bad, okay. Still give me ISO 8000. Jump to 1/400th. All right. Continue down over there and see what we can see. I just saw some movement up ahead there. Some sort of waterfowl. Try to get closer without spooking them too much. So one of the things I like about shooting wildlife from a kayak is that the wildlife don't really seem to expect people on the water too much. In a boat, you look a little different, I imagine, so they don't seem to be as skittish. Try to get a little closer. Depends on the bird, of course. The kingfishers are always still really skittish. Hoping to see one of those. I usually do here. Wood ducks is what I saw. They're beautiful, but that's a couple, a pair. But speaking of skittish birds, wood ducks are extremely skittish, which is why they're moving away from me. But maybe I can sneak up on them in a boat. Got a few shots, but then I put my camera down too fast and they took off. There they go. Maybe I'll see them again. But I just heard the kingfisher. Pretty much always see a kingfisher here. At least one. And there's something over there. Might just be a goose. Let's see. Just a Canada goose. Not that interesting. Let's look for that kingfisher. I let my Merlin app have a listen, and it was hearing some interesting stuff. A yellow-throated warbler, which would be cool. And I think I caught a glimpse of it as I moved towards where the sound was coming from, but it took off, so maybe it'll reappear. And that's, I think, a brown-headed cowbird that I'm hearing, which is not that exciting, but let's see what we can see. I happened to look up into the trees and there was a bald eagle sitting there. So I got a couple of shots of it, but not a great angle, not a great background. And then it took off, so I tried to get some as it flew over there. But from the rear, that's not going to be great either. Still, nice that I saw one. Always enjoy that. Meanwhile, I hear a lot of birds. I'm not seeing a whole lot. I'm trying to stick fairly close to the sides of the lake, the shoreline. See if they're hanging out in the trees right around here, but not so much. I think I saw some deer up on the hill, but they ran off too. And I passed by the beaver lodge. No beavers. Hopefully things get a little more active for me. Otherwise, this might be a little bit of a dud. Up here, I'm seeing evidence of very fresh, recent beaver activity. But they tend to be a bit more nocturnal, so I'll hang out for a minute and see if any happen to make an appearance. Straight ahead of me, there's a bird sitting in the mud. Something I don't recognize, maybe a Virginia rail, something like that. I'm getting shots. We will identify it when we get home, but that's nice. Something different. Almost like a sandpiper, but I don't believe so. Yeah, I did a quick ID on my phone using the back of the camera image. It says it's a spotted sandpiper. Seems a little unusual for here, but maybe not. They do like rivers, I think. Okay. Keep going a bit. This is further than I usually go down the lake, but it's a nice morning, and hopefully the breeze will help me on the way back. So we continue. I usually throw in some scenics on these excursions, and I have the 24-105 with me as well. But we're still in that transitional period between winter and spring. So there's some green. Most of the trees are still pretty bare. So I'm not seeing much to catch my eye scenically just yet. Caught a glimpse of a couple more bald eagles up ahead. The white tail is a dead giveaway from a distance. So we'll make our way up there. Exciting! I just saw a bluebird and then one of my favorites, a red-headed woodpecker. Just yelling at me currently. Got a nest, it looks like. Don't worry, lady. Or guy. I won't mess with your nest. Yep, chasing somebody off and then back to the nest. There's the bluebird too. Gorgeous. Yeah, I love those. All right, see who else is flitting around here. In front of me here, there's a eastern bluebird with a nest hole. I don't think there's anybody home in the nest hole. But the bluebird is hanging out, watching me, of course. Another pretty bird. And I saw a nuthatch, but it went away. And I think I saw another red-headed woodpecker, so let's go over there. I'll leave the bluebird nest alone. And I'm hearing some raptors of some sort. And there's a huge nest, which I think is a bald eagle nest, which would explain why I saw bald eagles up here. Yeah, it's exciting stuff up here. I usually don't come this far. I'm glad I did. Yeah, definitely a bald eagle home in that nest. Let's try to get... So a quick word to make this hopefully a little more of a useful video. But when I'm shooting wildlife these days on either of my cameras, the R7 or the R5 Mark II, I'm generally in FV, flexible priority mode, with ISO set to auto. Aperture pretty much wide open. And then what I control with typically the scroll wheel, the index finger scroll wheel, is the shutter speed. So you could do the same thing really with manual mode. But I kind of like FV, I don't know, it's just easy, and it's easy to swap, like if you want to change the aperture, it's easy enough to do that. But typically I want the aperture wide open or close to it on these long lenses especially. And shutter speed I vary depending on what my subject is doing. So if I'm shooting a mammal that's not moving very fast, maybe I'll be at 2/50th, 1/320th, something like that. If it's a bird sitting still, relatively still, probably about the same, maybe 1/250th, 1/320th. 1/500th is kind of my default setting, because that'll freeze enough motion typically that I can get some good shots even if the bird is moving a bit. And birds in flight, you want to go higher though, 1/1600th, 1/2000th, something like that, and catch those flaps. I'm usually in single frame mode just because I hate culling multiples of pretty similar images. It's just a personal thing, and I don't like filling up my memory card too much. So really I don't even use pre-capture on the R5 Mark II very much. I should get in more of the habit of that, but I'm hoping with a firmware update they will tweak that a little bit so you don't have to burn as many frames when you use it. Because like I said, I don't like culling similar images too much. So yeah, I'm usually in single frame. I'll just kind of press quickly. If I know I want motion, I'll switch maybe to high speed or low speed continuous, just so I get a sequence of frames with, you know, wings in different position if it's a bird in flight, that sort of thing. But generally speaking, for most anything I do, I'm in single frame drive mode, which I have been today. So there you go. I'm at about, I can see the end of the lake. This is all but 2 lakes in Virginia are man-made. So this has a dam at one end, which I am approaching. I guess I may as well go all the way to the dam if I've come this far. And then I'll start heading back. There's a butterfly. Kind of random. Flying past me. Okay. And then we will turn around. And I think I'm making good time. I started at 7:30 this morning. feel like it's still reasonably early, so there's a turtle over here. So yeah, I'll take my time on the way back as well. So for a turtle just sitting on a log, I'll go to like 1/200th here just to minimize camera shake and the movement of my boat. Snap off a few frames, and I'm good. Okay, onward. Kingfisher is teasing me. Finally saw it, heard it again, and then saw it, but it was flying in the opposite direction that I'm going. Figures. But I assume there's more than one, so hopefully I'll come across another on the way back now. I like my kayak a lot, but it's not made for sitting for more than a couple hours, and that's about where I am right now. So many turtles today. Every log is packed with them. They're not that exciting, but interesting. I like all the reptiles and terrapins. That's what I'm trying to say. Who's that? Probably just a vulture, but over here we have some tree swallows on the nest box. Drift up a little close to them. Those are beautiful birds. Sometimes I try to get them flying, but that is not easy. All right, creep up a little closer. I am in some serious muck right here. That's not bad. All right, heading back towards the launch. I was fighting a headwind most of the way, so I think the winds are variable, or I just got pointed in the wrong direction. So that was a workout. And then I got grounded a little bit, had to wiggle my way out of the muck. But I'm pretty pleased. Saw the kingfisher. I didn't get to shoot it. But I saw some other cool stuff. Hopefully got some decent shots of turtles, if nothing else. And of course, it's nice to be out. So wherever you are, hope you're having a lovely day. And until next time, be good to yourself. Take care of each other. Don't forget to be awesome. Get out and wander. Later.